Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Mixed Bag of Wrestling. Now this episode originally was going to be a response to the Off the Rope shows, what are your most favorite high flyers? Now I was thinking about who was the best high flyers that I knew. And many came to mind. One was just like Daddy said, Rey Mysterio, Eddie Guerrero. I always loved Eddie. Lucia Thunder Liger came to mind. I once saw him when I was very young and I never forgot him. Think about 1987 to 88 when I first saw him from a friend's house that had was showing a relative of mine a videotape of Japanese wrestling. I saw him once. I never forgot him, and then I saw him later in life, which I was very happy about. The Dynamite Kid, that's another one. But this video response isn't directly towards high flyers. But it did inspire me to think, who was the best high flyer I could think about? Now, one person that came to mind, the very first person, was the Red Rooster, Owen Hart. And I'm thinking, yeah, the Red Rooster's really good. And I always thought he looked so damn funny in that stupid costume. And then it hit me like a bullet. I wonder, what about the most funniest wrestlers? The Slug Daddy has done great with his 12 Days of Christmas. He has the best talkers, the best entrances, and basically the best high flyers. He's right. But what came to my mind right now is, who are the best funny people in wrestling? So this is my mixed bag of wrestling that is for my feelings about it. Who is the most funny? So the first person that came to my mind was JYG, the Junkyard Dog. Not JYG, JYD, sorry. The Junkyard Dog, when I was a kid, was the most coolest guy I could see. He acted like a damn dog. And he had that nice dog he always had with. He used to make me laugh that he loved that dog so much. And he always won matches, and he always talked, we're gonna go, me and my dog gonna go and rip somebody's neck out. Yeah, JYD is gonna always do his job good. That always cracked me up. I always loved JYD. He was always a great character that was fun with the kids. And he always made me laugh. And he was in WrestleMania a couple of times. He did a lot of great pay-per-views. I really feel bad that he's deceased right now. I wish he had been alive and had been retired longer. But from what I understand with his daughter, he was around his daughter a lot. He loved his daughter, and he was not a bad guy. He was always a very kind and loving man. Now, two together were my next favorite funny wrestlers. Cousin Luke and Cousin Butch. The Bushwhackers. Oh yeah, coming down to the ring and licking people on the head. How the hell did they do that? I never understood how they can handle that. And in the Royal Rumble, I believe it was Brother Butch. He went in the Royal Rumble 4 seconds. And then when he got kicked out, go right back to this. That was the funniest thing I ever saw. And it made me angry because I wanted to see the Bushwhacker make it to the end. That's what I wanted at that time. But he didn't. He got kicked out of the ring within 4 seconds. It was damn funny. Their promo segments. Ooh, yeah! Now we're gonna get him, Brother Luke. Oh yeah, we're gonna get him, Brother Butch. We're gonna get him. That was just, it hurt my throat. How they were able to do that. These New Zealanders, I believe they're from New Zealand, they were just hilarious. I could never be bored with them. They were always so funny, friendly, and they could wrestle their asses off. For all the different names they had over the years, I can't remember them right now. I'll probably do a video on them one day, which I will. They deserve a video of their own. I always believed they were the most underrated team of tag team wrestling. They could wrestle. They were funny. They were ridiculously funny. But if you saw their earlier work, I remember seeing some of it, they were very good wrestlers that could actually do one hell of a job and beat your ass. That's how great they were. And it was never boring being with them. Next person, George the Animal Steel. Oh, whew. this is how it went for George. I remember seeing him maybe in the late 70s. And then into the early 80s when he became George the Animal Steele without no hair. Because years ago, he had hair back in the 70s, but he was going bald. So he essentially shaved his head and then changed his gimmick. George already had many, many years of being known as a great wrestler. And he was known, I believe, as a heel most of it. But then when he reached into the 80s, he completely turned around his stick and became a comedian where he used to bite the damn turnbuckle, rip it open, and act like a crazy man. I can't remember who his manager was at that time. I believe it might have been, oh man, I can't believe I'm blanking out on his manager's name. Oh man, I can't remember. I'll probably remember doing this segment and eventually, this segment of the video, and I'll come back to it anyway. Essentially, he was so good that with Macho Man Randy Savage, he started working with him because he was so infatuated with Elizabeth. Mr. Fuji, I think his manager at one point was Mr. Fuji. I'm sorry it took me so long to remember. If I'm wrong, ladies and gentlemen, leave me a comment below to tell me who George the Animal Steele's manager at that time when he was acting so innocent and just like a little kid but was willing to rip your head off. But honestly, he was so great. When he was with Miss Elizabeth, he used to go up to her sometimes, just look at her and just wanted to touch her gently. And then Macho Man would go, "What are you doing to my woman? No one touches my woman. Oh yeah. No one touches Miss Elizabeth. No one ever gonna touch my girl. We're gonna have our match, George the Animal Steele." I remember they had at least 1 or 2 matches over the years before he finally retired, or at least he went to another promotion. But George was so funny, so fun and innocent. Nobody could just deny him. Now the next person really wouldn't be considered super funny, but would be considered innocent like George the Animal Steele. That would be Kamala. That big guy who came out basically barefooted and just killed you, but had kimchi with him, which was Steve Lombardi, which I said in my who is the better mid-carder, Steve Lombardi or the one who not be named, because I do respect the Off the Rope show. He don't deserve to be named because he's a piece of crap. But Kim G was a great manager. He was so much fun to watch when he's trying to get Kamala to do what he needed to do. And Kamala himself was always very innocent and did exactly what he needed. When he went hitting his stomach ready to eat your ass, you know, oh shit, we're in trouble. He terrified jobbers, but he was still so funny when it was over that he's going like, trying to figure what needs to be done, and then Kimchi's trying to get him to do what he needs to do to leave the ring, and then people are just going up to him and saying, "Don't worry, it's okay, this way, this way, this way," and cheering him on, and he's acting. It was always so damn funny. He was great as a monster. He was never really a monster heel. He wasn't. His character was more of an innocent who just didn't know what the hell he was doing. He didn't. But it could fall into a betweener because he could act extremely violent or extremely soft and gentle. So that's how great his character was. And I just simply loved it. The next person, I'm sure you already know about it. I'm sure you haven't forgotten about it. The Gobbledygooker. Came out in 1990, I believe 1990 or 1991 during Survivor Series. And that, my friends, was the most funniest ever thought. And I believe the Off the Rope show did a Who is Better. Oh yeah, they did. The Shockmaster or the Gobbledygooker. The Gobbledygooker, I'm sorry, with Hector Guerrero. And I have to admit, I never knew whoever it was. So, Slug Daddy, thank you. I never really thought about who it was until you said it on your video. So thank you so much. I never thought that he could dance like that. I didn't know Hector could dance like that. It was damn funny, and I remember seeing it. So Hector Guerrero as the Gobbledygooker was always really funny. They did the Gobbledygooker more than a few times over a couple of Survivor Series where he was just plain hilarious. No one hated it. It was fun. It was funny. seeing him dance in the middle with Mean Gene and Slick Daddy. I do remember when Roddy Piper saw him come out of there, he was laughing his butt off. I saw the pay-per-view at that time, or on demand. It was beyond hilarious. I remember seeing him going, what the hell is that? Going into the ring. And again, my mother smacked me behind my head and saying, what the F are you doing? Don't you fucking curse in my house. But she cursed herself. But still, it was damn funny. I loved it. The gobbledygooker must be put on this list. Another one is Doink. Doink was just wonderfully funny. And then having that little segment between him and the King where the Doink Clowns go up against the Knights and the King, that was hilarious. It was okay. Doink had his great moments throughout the years, and he was never boring. He was always funny. Everyone was always behind him. They were laughing. They loved his music, and I loved it myself, and that was great. Now, these names are for the current ones or who just stopped doing it. These are more recent. Now, the one right now is the Boogeyman. Oh, yes. I'm mentioning the Boogeyman. I'm mentioning the Boogeyman because he was just beyond ridiculous. Coming out, hearing that going out there with that torch, which had the dry ice, he breathes in it and go, and you see him running around and people just going, what the hell is he? And then taking that huge oversized clock that reminds me pretty much of, you know who used to wear the large clock, who used to wear it and then hits his head with that clock. Please, that was just ridiculously dumb. But the thing that I remember the most about the Boogeyman is with, I forgot, JBL's assistant, Jillian, and that big rope on her face. And then you see him rip that off her face. And then you can hear Michael Cole, Taz. You can see how JBL himself, and you can hear everyone in the background screaming him, looking like he licked her face. He licked the damn thing. He licked it. Oh my goodness, what is he doing? He's going, he put the damn thing off her face. It was so funny. And then you can see him going, he's going to eat that damn thing. And he ate it and just gyrated, and it was beyond hilarious. It was something you just can't forget how damn funny the Boogeyman is. I just love the Boogeyman to death. It's sad he's not there anymore, but you know what? He left us a good legacy. Next person, which you probably would think, you gotta be kidding me, gotta mention him, Eric Young. In the last near 2 to 3 years, he has had the most ridiculous gimmicks you can think of, especially when he was with Orlando Jordan, and Orlando acting like he was gay, wanting Eric Young, and Eric Young acting as innocent as driven snow, like the straight man, but still acting beyond his mind, locking up with the refs, locking up with people outside, running around like he has no brain in his head, having the beard craziest beard. I think sometimes that Daniel Bryan based some of his character on Eric Young growing that damn beard. I'm not saying it's true. I'm not saying I have evidence. There is no evidence. But this is how I feel, because at one point he just started growing a beard, for saying that I won't stop growing this beard until I won a championship, which he did and never got rid of it. But then he became Mr. Yes, yes, and then no, no. He reminds me of Eric Young. That's just me. And Eric Young has had the most ridiculous gimmicks right now. He's not in TNA at the moment, where he's supposed to have been taken out by Aces and 8. But all the things that he's done over the last three or 4 years since he's been doing this craziness is so funny. At least most of it. You can't deny it. He's a very entertaining wrestler. Now, another one, Santino Marella. Oh, Santino blowing the trumpet, running around, power walking his ass down to the ring. You cannot deny how funny as hell that power walk was. That's what one of the things he got over on. That damn power walk to the ring when he started doing like 1.5 years or 2 years ago. Just ridiculous. The work he did with Beth Phoenix and having to wrestle her, and then seeing how muscled out she was, and then being nice and sweet, saying, I love a big muscled woman. I don't even sound like him. Oh, but you know what? Santino's a very entertaining person. No matter if you hate him or love him, there's always something he's done, especially when it came to the Cobra. People really he got over with the people, and he loves it. The one that's a possibility, no, wait, I got another one before I do this last one. The next one who was always entertaining was Rikishi. Now, I was going to put Rikishi in my entrances and music theme, but I decided not to, because even though Rikishi had great music, I always loved it. I didn't feel like in that respect that he needed to be in that one. He needed to be something else. And this is it. Rikishi, who was great as a tag team partner, and then by himself when he was with Too Cool, with Master Sexay, and basically Scotty 2 Hotty, then going off with Scotty 2 Hotty to become a champion in the tag teams. He is a character that was so damn fun, so damn funny. Backing it up, baby. You can't deny how great Rikishi was. He was funny. He knew how to be a great heel. He knew how to be a great face. He knew how to combine both of them in with his dancing and his attitude and that big megawatt smile and that blonding his hair. That's how great Rikishi was. And it leads me into the last person I'm putting on here that has potential, which he's not doing it right now much, is the Funkasaurus Brodus Clay. Brodus Clay is pretty much another version of Rikishi. He's a big man who could become a very nasty heel or a very funny and very, very entertaining face. The dancing is a part of it. A lot of kids love Brodus Clay. They do. And I believe that the WWE made a serious mistake by not keeping up pushing him. Particularly, he was falling into the demographic for men with Naomi and Cameron. My Naomi that has the most beautiful curves you can wish. So does Cameron. That added to his effect and made him popular, as well as made him fun, with the girls dancing with him. This is potential right here. We do not have many funny people in wrestling anymore. Eric Young, now that he's not there, who is our funny people in TNA? There isn't anybody. No one's funny in TNA right now. Not really. WWE, you do have Santino Marella. You don't see him that much. But the person that was next to Santino Marella, who is really funny, and I'm not going to... there is one other person I am going to mention because I just remembered. Sorry I forgot him. But Brodus Clay is a potential future funny man. We need him. We need him to be prominently featured because we need him because he can be very funny. The last person that you could put in that was funny is Hornswoggle. I'm not forgetting Hornswoggle because Hornswoggle was brought in with Finley. He's been around for a whole bunch of years, but the reason I was considering not bringing him in and just forgot all about him to put on my list, for the simple fact that Hornswoggle's he's lost a lot of steam. He was very popular at least a year or so ago, at least a year or year and a half, where he was so funny people loved him. But really now that they have him talking, that they put him on so much, he lost a lot of steam. But I can say that when he first came out, he was damn funny. People loved it. They just loved seeing him biting someone, supposedly an ass. I wish it was me biting some of those girls' asses, but you know what I mean. Still, Hornswoggle, I'm putting him in the list, but really far, far up. I have no real listing of who's number 1 to number 10. I'm just putting them in this list to let you guys see for yourself who I liked. I didn't want to put a person who I thought was the best. Because honestly, going from the past to the future, a lot of these guys are great and some of them can be made great. So I'm just going to leave it at that. I don't really have a favorite funny man. I don't. But you take a guess of the people I mentioned. Look these people up for yourself. Check on YouTube for the videos and you'll see for yourself how great and funny these guys are. They're wonderful. They're great. They don't keep you from laughing. And you know what? I think there's one person I need to mention. Just one. But this isn't a man. This is a woman. Mae Young. It's the last person I will mention. And you don't really need much to say with Mae Young. This woman has been around so long, and she is still great. She's funny. She's hilarious. I am so glad that she still exists in the wrestling business. Mae Young is pretty much, for me, one great funny woman. She is. And I'm glad that she's still in the wrestling business, coming out once in a while to make everyone get smiles, get a crack, get a kiss. Who wouldn't want to get a kiss from Mae Young? Not on lips, but you know what I mean. Honestly, these people I just mentioned, I believe it's about 11 of them, these are funny people that I'm glad existed in the wrestling business. I'm sure there are a lot more that I didn't ever hear about or I forgot to mention. Put a comment below. Tell me what you think. And I hope you like this mixed bag of wrestling. Subscribe and comment to Zane's View. And please keep looking at the 12 days of Off the Rope show. I'm ready to see what the Slug Daddy's talking about. The women that's going to be in his stocking. His 9 best women to be stuffed in his stocking. I'll be glad to have just one. Have a good day, ladies and gentlemen.